Good morning, PHEV faithful. I received an email this morning from Kyle, which is my local dealership, my sales guy, and he has given me an idea for the next video, which is going to be testing the electric heat in the car to see how high we can go and does that affect our range and will the car stay in electric mode. I'll just quickly read you the email so you know what he's talking about. Hey Gary, I just found something out today and thought I would pass it on. I was able to run electric heat in EV mode up to the maximum temperature, high or 31 degrees. Mind you, I had the vehicle idling on charge for about 30 minutes before I put it in EV priority mode. I even took it for a spin around to see if the engine would engage if I were to drive it a bit, and it stayed in EV the whole time. The fan was running on full blast as well. I'm not sure what this does to your range or if the gas engine would kick on more frequently either. I couldn't see this working too well in minus 30 temperatures, but maybe a mild day like minus 10 or warmer. Well, today it's minus 16. I'm not going to pre-charge the car or anything like that. Let's just do our normal test, but we'll crank the heater up and see what happens. Does the engine start more? Does it affect our overall range? Let's go for a run. So I'm not sure what the temperature in the garage is, but it's cold enough that snow from last night stays on the car. So it's probably minus 8, something like that in here. It's not heated. The car is plugged in, but there is no preheating taking place. I've actually lost the little piece of paper that you get with your car, which has a serial number and a passcode on it for the PHEV app. And I got a new phone about 2 months ago. I never bothered transferring the app onto the new phone. And when I contacted Mitsubishi here in town and said, hey, I've lost that paperwork, they said, yes, they can get that for you, but they've got to hook the car up to the computer, and there is a charge to do that. So don't lose that little piece of paper, guys, if you want to do preheating and all of that through the phone app, which is not super important to me, but next time I take it in for service, I will get them to give me that passcode and stuff again, but don't lose that piece of paper. Okay, so I've actually started the car in EV mode with no heat on, because what I want to do first is check what the gasometer is going to tell us for range. Okay, so as always, the gasometer is saying 32 kilometers range on a full charge. Let's turn the heat on. And we're going to just bump that up all the way. So if we look here, 30.5, and then if you push it one more time, 31 degrees, it just says high. And, okay, so 21 kilometers is what that drops down to. Does that change if we lower the heat? No, it doesn't seem to. So as I've mentioned in previous movies, guys, with the heat on and the heated seat on, I get between 22 and 25 kilometers range on a full charge. What happens if we turn the blower fan up? Does the EV range drop? Still showing 21. I will leave that on full. However, when I'm talking to you guys, I'll turn it down just so you can hear me. I'm so excited. It's a momentous video making day. Mitsubishi contacting me to do testing. Wait till they get the bill for this video. And there's the outside temperature today, minus 13 degrees Celsius. It was only a couple of videos back that I realized I could go higher than 22 degrees Celsius for electric heating. I just assumed maybe one time it just coincided with the engine kicking on when I went higher than 22 degrees, but I thought that was the point where the engine would kick on. And it was about 3 videos back where I realized I could put it up to 24 degrees and still drive around an EV. So when Kyle sent me that email saying you could put it right up to full, it really wasn't that much of a surprise to me. I am assuming that we're not going to get as much range out of this. It just, if you've got the fan running on full and the heater on full, maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. Either way, our kilowatt hour usage should skyrocket, I would assume. I've been been thinking about the electric technology a lot lately, and I'd like to make a request to Mitsubishi for you guys to make an ATV electric style. I only need 150-mile range, so the battery in this car would probably do it. I mean, ATVs are much smaller. If you guys could produce that, I would buy one in a heartbeat. The speed on that thing would be phenomenal. The torque should be fantastic. And I don't need to go more than 100 miles at a time. So for me, it would work. Mitsubishi, I've found a new market for you. Maybe skidoos. Your batteries work well. There's no heat needed on a skidoo. Huh? Come on, time to start making toys for boys. And girls, I'm sure there are some girls who like to skidoo. I have 2 girls. I don't want to be a bigot. 6.5 kilometers into the test. We're still on high and showing 16 kilometers to go. Another great tip, guys, which I'm not using, but you should be using, is the preheating of the vehicle. So if you're going out and you have a scheduled time that you leave the house, preheat your vehicle for 15 minutes. That gets the batteries in the cabin up to temperature, and it won't affect your range because when you're plugged in, it's drawing that electricity from the wall. So I don't do that because I'm always in and out of the office. I run a home office and an office across town, and I don't have a schedule. So for me, it doesn't work. But if you have a schedule where preheating works, absolutely, guys, you would probably add another 3 to 5 kilometers to your trip with preheating. So totally recommend, where you can, use preheating. Lots of snow and construction today. So actually that's probably working in our favor. We're not moving very fast here, 30 kilometers an hour. Every test has its variables, I guess. Never thought I'd say this in a PHEV testing video, but I'm starting to sweat, guys. Woo! It's getting warm in here. It's actually kind of nice instead of freezing off my you-know-what for a bit. 10 kilometers into the trip, and the engine has not started yet. So halfway through this test, guys, I'm kind of surprised. It looks like turning the heat up all the way isn't making one bit of difference. So the heater must run at a set temperature no matter what, and your cabin temperature obviously is set by your thermometer in here. So hey, in my case, I should have been turning this thing up full the whole time. It looks like it's not really affecting our range. We'll see in the final numbers, but so far it's looking good. I'm surprised. And there's the battery numbers, in case you're wondering, halfway through the test, 1 degree and 3 degrees. So cranking the heat in here doesn't seem to affect that, as it shouldn't, because they have their own heating system. I really wonder why no one has come out with the electric all-terrain vehicle or skidoo. You would think that would be a given. That would be, I don't know. As I've shown here in the northern testing, if the heat's not on, the batteries are performing just as well as they do in the summer. Pretty close anyway. So why couldn't you slap a battery in a skidoo and call it a day? As you can see, another blustery northern Ontario day. That's the lake out there. You can't see anything. Just wind blown. 15 kilometers in, and we're still showing 8 to go. Okay, my heated seat is on low, but I've got to turn that off. It's just too hot in here. Just a few more kilometers to go, but while we're waiting, why don't you guys check out this week's optimistic green energy news. Just a quick blurb here, guys. Corporations more than doubled their commitment to renewable energy in 2018, and this is being reported by Renewable Energy World. And the interesting fact about this is that they were up from 6.1 gigawatts of renewable energy in 2017 to 13.4 gigawatts, and that's over 121 corporations in 21 different countries. The most uplifting stat that I found here was that 60% of that information was for the United States of America. They've been lagging behind quite a while in renewable energy sources, and to see them take 60% of that lead is amazing and made me feel great. So just something to share for this week's optimistic green energy news. I really have to come up with a better name for that segment. Okay, the gasometer is showing 0, but the engine has not started yet. And we're still 100% EV, so when the engine kicks on, I'll show you guys the final number. And yes, we have not touched the heat. It is still on full, and fan is on full as well. There we go, EV mode canceled. 25.4 kilometers. Okay, well, that actually really surprised me. Turning the heat up to full, 31 degrees Celsius, and the fan up to full did not affect our range one bit. So if you're going to use heat, use the heat. That would be my recommendation after this test. There you have it, guys. Thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next video. I guess in summary, heat is like cowbell. You just can't have too much of a good thing.